When installing a main breaker, also known as a cut-out breaker, on a sub-panel, several requirements outlined by the National Electrical Code, or NEC, must be followed. Firstly, considering the distance from the main panel, the sub-panel's location is important. NEC section 240.24 C1 specifies that the sub-panel should ideally be located within 6 feet of the main panel. This requirement helps ensure easy access and maintenance. Secondly, regarding accessibility, the main breaker of the sub-panel must be readily accessible. This means it should be possible to access the breaker without having to remove any other panel or component. NEC section 110.26 C addresses this. This is to ensure that in case of an emergency or for maintenance purposes, the breaker can be easily switched off or accessed. Thirdly, focusing on mounting, the main breaker must be securely mounted on the sub-panel. NEC section 408.30 B stipulates this to ensure the breaker's stability and proper functioning. A loose or improperly mounted breaker can pose safety hazards and may not function correctly. While the NEC does not explicitly specify a maximum number of breakers in a sub-panel, some manufacturers and local jurisdictions might have their own limitations. It is always a good practice to check local building codes and manufacturers' specifications. The most important thing is to ensure that the sub-panel is adequately sized to handle the expected load. The main breaker in the sub-panel must be rated for the same amperage as the branch circuit that powers the sub-panel. This ensures that the breaker can effectively protect the circuit from overloads. Proper grounding and bonding are also crucial. The sub-panel must be properly grounded and bonded to the main panel in accordance with NEC regulations. This is essential for safety as it helps to prevent electrical shocks and ensures that fault currents can safely return to the source. Additionally, both the main breaker and the sub-panel must be clearly labeled. The label should indicate their purpose and rating. This is important for identification and safety reasons, allowing anyone working on the electrical system to quickly understand the function and capacity of each component. It's important to note that these requirements may vary slightly depending on local building codes and regulations in northern Illinois. For instance, some municipalities might have more stringent rules than the NEC. Therefore, it's always recommended to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Proper installation of a sub-panel breaker not only ensures safety but also the efficient operation of the electrical system. Ignoring these requirements can lead to electrical hazards, potential damage to equipment, and code violations. In summary, the NEC guidelines provide a framework for safe and effective sub-panel breaker installations, but local codes and professional expertise are essential for complete compliance. The amperage rating of the main breaker in the sub-panel is crucial. It must match the amperage of the branch circuit feeding the sub-panel. If the breaker is underrated, it will trip frequently, causing inconvenience. If it's overrated, it won't provide adequate protection against overloads, potentially leading to fire hazards. Grounding ensures a safe path for fault current, while bonding connects non-current carrying metal parts to create a low impedance path. This helps to quickly trip the circuit breaker in the event of a fault, minimizing the risk of electrical shock. Labeling should be clear and durable, using permanent markers or labels designed for electrical panels. This helps to prevent confusion and ensures that anyone working on the system can easily identify the purpose and rating of each component. Consider the environment in which the sub-panel is installed. If it's in a damp or corrosive environment, use appropriate enclosures and materials to prevent corrosion and ensure longevity. Furthermore, when selecting a sub-panel, consider its capacity. Choose a panel with enough spaces for future expansion. It's always better to have extra capacity and to run out of space later. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause heat, leading to potential fire hazards. Use appropriate tools and torque specifications when making connections. Regularly inspect the sub-panel for any signs of damage, corrosion, or overheating. If you notice anything unusual, contact a qualified electrician immediately. The NEC also provides guidelines for conductor sizing. Ensure that the conductors feeding the sub-panel are properly sized for the amperage of the circuit. Undersized conductors can overheat and cause a fire. Overcurrent protection is another critical aspect. The main breaker in the sub-panel serves as the primary overcurrent protection device. It should be properly sized and tested to ensure it functions correctly. When installing a sub-panel, it's important to consider the load calculations. Determine the total load that the sub-panel will be serving to ensure that it's not overloaded. Overloading a sub-panel can lead to voltage drops, equipment malfunction, and potential fire hazards. The NEC requires that all electrical work be performed in a neat and workmanlike manner. This means that all wiring should be properly supported, secured, and labeled. Avoid leaving loose wires or making sloppy connections. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's always best to hire a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions. Before starting any electrical work, always turn off the power at the main panel. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before touching any wires. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. Never work alone when performing electrical work. Have someone nearby who can assist you in case of an emergency. Follow all applicable safety regulations and guidelines. Electrical safety is paramount. Be aware of the potential hazards and take steps to minimize the risk of injury. The NEC is constantly evolving to keep up with new technologies and safety concerns. It's important to stay updated on the latest changes to the code. Consider attending electrical training courses or seminars to learn about the latest NEC requirements. Knowledge is power. The more you know about electrical safety, the better equipped you'll be to protect yourself and others. Sub-panels are commonly used in residential, commercial, and industrial settings. They provide a convenient way to distribute power to different areas of a building. When installing a sub-panel, it's important to consider the specific needs of the application. For example, a sub-panel in a workshop might require more circuits and higher amperage ratings than a sub-panel in a bedroom. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may be other local regulations that apply to sub-panel installations. Check with your local building department to determine what permits and inspections are required. Proper planning is essential for a successful sub-panel installation. Before starting work, develop a detailed plan that includes the location of the sub-panel, the size of the conductors, the amperage ratings of the breakers, and the grounding and bonding requirements. A well-thought-out plan can help to prevent problems and ensure that the installation is done correctly. When installing a sub-panel, it's important to use high-quality materials. Cheap or inferior materials can fail prematurely, leading to potential hazards. Invest in reputable brands and products that are designed for electrical applications. Consider the aesthetics of the sub-panel installation. While functionality is the primary concern, it's also important to ensure that the installation looks neat and professional. This can enhance the overall appearance of the space and improve the value of the property. If you're unsure about any aspect of the sub-panel installation, don't hesitate to ask for help. Consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to get expert advice. It's always better to be safe than sorry. The NEC provides a comprehensive set of guidelines for sub-panel installations. By following these guidelines and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your sub-panel is installed safely and correctly. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions. By following these safety tips, you can minimize the risk of injury and protect yourself and others from electrical hazards. The goal is to create a safe and reliable electrical system that meets the needs of the application. Always double-check your work to ensure that everything is connected properly and that all safety requirements have been met. The NEC is a living document that is updated every 3 years. It's important to stay informed about the latest changes to the code. Consider subscribing to electrical trade publications or attending industry events to stay up to date on the latest developments. Education is key to staying ahead in the electrical field. The more you learn about electrical systems, the better equipped you'll be to provide safe and reliable service to your customers. Electrical work is a rewarding profession, but it's also a demanding one. It requires a high level of skill, knowledge, and attention to detail. By dedicating yourself to continuous learning and improvement, you can excel in this field and make a positive impact on the lives of others. Always prioritize safety in every electrical project you undertake. By making safety your top priority, you can help to prevent accidents and protect yourself and others from harm. The NEC serves as a valuable resource for electrical professionals. It provides a framework for safe and reliable electrical installations. By following the NEC guidelines, you can help to ensure that your work meets the highest standards of quality and safety. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By working together, we can create a safer electrical environment for all.